Hi everyone! Welcome back to another episode of Project Accounting. So for today's episode, we're gonna apply what we have learned about analyzing business transactions by solving the problems on our last episode. So ito yung problem natin sa ating last episode. So the following are transactions of Gary's repair shop in his first month of business operation. So on May 2, invested 1 million, purchased for cash, used equipment, etc. So, for each transaction, state in column 1 the accounts affected, in column 2 the classification of account whether asset, liability, capital, revenue, or expenses, and in column 3 the effects of the transaction on account whether increase or decrease. So, yung first transaction, ayan na yung sagot. So, on May 2, yung accounts affected niya is cash and carry capital. Then, yung accounts classification niya is asset and capital, while yung effect niya is parehong increase. So, i-explain natin bakit ganon. So, on May 2, Gary invested 1 million cash in the business. So, gaya nung na-discuss natin last time, ang first na gagawin natin is to determine anong accounts ang affected ng transaction. So, usually, there are 2 or more accounts na affected, diba? So, in this case, ang accounts na affected ay cash and also capital. Cash is obviously affected. Gawa ng sinabi na nag-invest si Gary ng cash amounting to 1 million. Then yung capital naman ay affected gawa ng investment is part of the capital. So after na malaman natin yung accounts affected, next naman na gagawin natin is to determine the effect of the transaction. So since alam naman natin na yung accounts affected ay cash and capital, walang magiging effect sa ating liabilities. Then ang business ay naka-receive ng cash, so ibig sabihin, asset will increase. Then, yung amount na na-receive ni business represent investment ni owner. So, yung capital will also increase. So, next transaction naman is on May 3, Gary purchased for cash a used equipment for 500,000 for use in the business. So, yung accounts affected dito ay used equipment kasi yun yung binili niya for cash amounting to 500,000. So, next naman is yung effect ng transaction sa ating asset is equal to liabilities plus equity. So, syempre, yung used equipment and cash ay parehong asset, walang effect sa ating liability and equity sa transaction na ito. Then, since bumili tayo ng used equipment, so mag-i-increase ang ating used equipment, while yung cash naman natin will decrease kasi nga, pinambili natin sa used equipment is cash. So, next naman is May 9, purchased supplies on account amounting to 3,000 pesos. So, yung accounts affected dito, syempre supplies and also accounts payable kasi imbis na cash, umutang muna siya ng supplies para sa kanyang business. Then, yung effect nito sa ating accounting equation, since supplies is asset, then accounts payable is liability, walang effect siya sa ating equity. Since bumili tayo ng supplies, mag-increase ang ating asset, and also mag-increase din ang ating accounts payable kasi umutang tayo para doon sa supplies na binili. The next transaction naman is on May 11, billed customers for services performed amounting to 30,000. So yung accounts affected dito ay accounts receivable at service revenue. Bakit accounts receivable? Kasi binilang natin si customer. But that doesn't mean na nakakolekta tayo ng cash. And also service revenue kasi tayo yung nag-perform ng service sa customer. So ano naman ang magiging effect sa ating accounting equation? So there will be an increase in asset kasi nadagdagan ng ating receivable at increase sa ating service revenue kasi kumita tayo for rendering services. So next transaction naman is on May 12, receive a check from a customer for services rendered for cash amounting to 20,000. So ang accounts affected dito ay cash at service revenue. Halos same lang sa transaction kanina. Ang kinaibahan lang is nagbigay si customer ng cash para sa services na perform. So ang affected dito ay cash instead of accounts receivable at service revenue. So ano naman ang magiging effect sa ating accounting equation? So there will be an increase in asset kasi nga nadagdagan ng ating cash at increase sa revenue kasi kumita tayo for rendering services. So next naman, on May 15, paid 5,000 cash for advertising the start of his business. So ang accounts affected dito ay cash at advertising expense kasi nagbayad daw ng cash si Gary para mag-advertise. Ano naman ang magiging effect sa ating accounting equation? Siyempre, asset will decrease kasi nagbayad tayo ng cash amounting to 5,000. At madadagdagan naman yung expense natin since gumastos si Gary para mag-advertise. So on May 16, the owner invests additional 100,000 cash in the business. So yung accounts affected dito ay cash kasi nag-invest siya ng additional 100,000 cash at also Gary's capital kasi nag-invest siya ng additional 100,000. So yung effect niya sa ating accounting equation, there will be an increase in asset kasi nga nagdagdag ng cash at also increase in capital. Next naman, on May 17, purchased office equipment worth 40,000. Issued a promissory note payable next week. So yung accounts affected dito ay office equipment kasi bumili ng office equipment worth 40,000 and also notes payable kasi nag-issue ng promissory note which is payable next week. So ano naman ang magiging effect sa ating accounting equation? So syempre sa equity walang effect kasi office equipment is an asset and notes payable is liability. So there will be an increase in office equipment kasi nadagdagan ng ating office equipment since bumili tayo worth 40,000. And also increase in notes payable kasi umutang tayo para makabili ng office equipment using a promissory note which is payable next week. So next naman is on May 18, issued a check for the payment of supplies purchased on May 9. So yung accounts affected dito ay accounts payable kasi nga on account tayo bumili ng supplies and cash kasi nag-issue na tayo ng cheque para mabayaran yung accounts payable natin. So ano naman ang magiging effect sa ating accounting equation? So syempre walang effect sa ating equity kasi cash is an asset and accounts payable is liability. So there will be a decrease in accounts payable and decrease in cash kasi nag-issue tayo ng cheque para mabayaran na yung utang natin para dun sa pagbili ng supplies noong May 9. So next transaction naman is on May 20, receive 15,000 cash from customers billed on May 11. So yung accounts affected dito ay cash and accounts receivable kasi naka-receive daw tayo ng cash from customer na binil natin para sa services na pinarform natin noong May 11. So yung effect nito sa ating accounting equation, so there will be an increase in cash kasi naka-receive tayo ng 15,000 and also decrease in accounts receivable kasi na-receive na natin yung binil natin sa ating customer. So next naman is on May 21, purchased additional office supplies for cash amounting to 2,500. So yung accounts affected dito ay office supplies kasi bumili tayo ng additional office supplies para sa business and also cash kasi nagbayad tayo gamit ang cash. So ang effect nito sa ating accounting equation ay there will be an increase in office supplies kasi nga nadagdagan yung office supplies natin since bumili tayo and decrease in cash kasi nga pinambayad natin is cash para dun sa office supplies. So next transaction naman is on May 22, issued check in payment for the promissory note issued on May 17. So yung accounts affected dito ay notes payable, ito yung promissory note kanina, and also cash kasi nag-issue na tayo ng cheque para mabayaran yon. Then yung effect nito sa ating accounting equation, so walang effect sa equity kasi cash is an asset and notes payable is liability. So there will be a decrease in notes payable kasi nagbayad na tayo dun sa promissory note and also decrease in cash kasi binayaran nga natin using check. So next, paid creditor on account amounting to 4,000. So yung accounts affected dito ay accounts payable and cash. So gaya lang din kanina, so there will be a decrease in accounts payable and decrease in cash kasi nagbayad daw tayo sa creditor natin which is yung supplier amounting to 4,000. So next naman, on May 28, we drew 2,000 cash for personal use. So ang accounts affected dito ay Gary drawing at cash. So as mentioned last time, there are times na gumagamit ng drawing account instead na Gary capital. So kapag ganito, ang effect niya sa ating accounting equation ay increase in Gary drawing since nag-withdraw si Gary for personal use at decrease in asset kasi nabawasan ng cash ni business. So yung last transaction is on May 30. Paid salaries of assistant amounting to 10,000. So yung accounts affected dito ay cash at salaries expense kasi nagbayad daw ng cash si Gary para sa sahod ng kanyang assistant. So ang effect sa ating accounting equation ay asset will decrease kasi nga nagbayad siya ng cash and madadagdagan ang expense natin since gastos ni Gary sa kanyang business yung salary ng kanyang assistant. To summarize what we have learned today, business transactions are events that have some effects on the resources of a firm or on the source of the firm's assets. So there are two kinds of business transactions. These are external transactions, which are transactions between a business and outsider, and also internal transactions, which are transactions within the business that do not involve outsider. So in analyzing business transactions, we should determine first the affected accounts and then determine the effects of these transactions, whether increase or decrease. So the accounting equation, the asset is equal to liabilities plus equity, should be balanced. And also, capital account is affected by the owner's investment, withdrawal, and net income or net loss. So if you like this video or if this video helped you, please give a thumbs up and subscribe for more episodes. Thank you!